Hey loves, welcome back to the channel. This is part 2 of the previous video I posted on my channel, which was the pattern drafting process. And in this part 2, it will consist of the cutting and stitching process. So if you have already made your patterns for this top, then let's get right into this tutorial. I'll be using this floral fabric and I have 1 meter of it. I'll be using the same fabric as the lining. I then laid down my patterns and added allowance where needed and then cut them out. I'll be using the same fabric as the lining, so I'm cutting 4 of them each. And these are the patterns. If you're using a different fabric for the lining, you cut 2 pieces each for the lining and 2 pieces each for the fashion fabric. Now pin all the seams first, starting from the front seams, and once I have the front seams pinned, I will now pin the side seams. So I will do this for both the lining pieces and the fashion fabric pieces. And once that is done, I will go ahead to the sewing machine and stitch them. So this is how they look like. I have both the lining and the fashion fabric, and then I will go ahead and trim down the seam allowance because I don't like bulky seams. You can leave yours if you want. I will now go to my iron and give it a nice press. So once that is done, I went ahead and cut out some bonings for the front seams and then left the allowance on the waistline and also on the upper part, and then stitch the boning down, and this is how it looks. So what I'm doing now is to cut the straps for the back using the front shoulder. So I will trace out the shoulder slope and a little bit of the sides, and then I would extend the lines as long as I want because I will put in the correct measurements later. This is just to give me the outline of the back strap, and I will cut 4 of it. I will now grab the cap part of the top and notch where the gathers will be. And once I have done that, I will run gather stitches on all 4 of the pieces. And then once that is done, I would pull one side of the stitches to form gathers, and I will also do that on all 4 of the cap pieces. And once that is done, I will pin the caps to the tops on both the lining and the fashion fabric. Make sure they are on the right places using the shoulder slope to determine on which side they would be. After everything was pinned, I headed over to my sewing machine and stitched. And once it was stitched, I snipped the seams. This is to help ease up the seam. I almost forgot to say this, so after fixing the caps, if you feel like your neckline is a bit too small, you can go in and scoop it in a little so that it will fit right on the neckline. And once that was done, I went to make a top stitch, and I only did it on the fashion fabric, and this is optional, so you can choose to have a top stitch or not. I will now pin the back straps to the front shoulder like this, and then I'll do same for the lining pieces. And once that's done, I went ahead to stitch it, and this is how it looks now. I will now mark where the straps will be attached on the back. So I measured 2.5 inches from the center back and then notched it. And then I transferred the notch onto the other side. And then I'll repeat the same process for the lining. So once I have that, I will now align the shoulder properly in order to get the length of the back strap. So I would align it like this and then add 1/2 inch of allowance. So like you can see, there is a 1/2 inch allowance overlapping, and then I cut out the excess fabric. So I will use this one strap as a guide to cut the rest of the back strap. So like I'm doing, making sure that the shoulder seams are matching. I'll pin it up so that it doesn't move, so that I get the accurate measurement. So like I said, I will do the same for the lining piece as well. And once that's done, I will now face the top with the lining with right side facing, pinning one end of the strap along the neckline to the other strap, and also from the other end of the strap through the armhole. So if you don't understand what I just said, just look at what I'm doing. I'm also making sure that the shoulder seams are matching. So I will pin from this side along the neckline to the other side, like I already said. And then also pin the armhole like this. And then stitch like this and like that. After stitching, I snip the curvy part of the neckline and armhole and also trim down the seams. After that, I used a big safety pin to turn the straps inside out. So I repeated the same thing on the other side of the strap, and once that was done, I did an understitch around the neckline and armhole as far as I could sew, because the straps limit how far you can sew, and give it a nice press once that is done. So now what I'm doing is attaching the straps to the back on the notch I made earlier, and look carefully how I'm pinning them. After pinning, I will put the right sides of the tops together like this, and then pin them up, making sure that all the seams are matching. And once everything has been pinned, stitch all around, leaving some space to enable you turn the top inside out. And after it has been stitched, I will trim down the corners so I have sharp corners when I turn the top inside out. So once that is done, now from the space I left on stitch, I will flip out the top and then use the scissors to push out the corners to make them very sharp, and then stitch the space. And then I went ahead and gave it a nice press. So what I'm going to do now is to mark where I will be fixing the eyelets. So you space it out according to how many eyelets you want. I have 7 marks on each side with 3/4 inch spacing. Once I have them all marked out, I will use my scissors to cut out tiny holes on the mark to enable me fix the eyelets. So with the eyelet I have, it comes with a hole making tool, but it's really difficult to use it. That's why I use my scissors to make these tiny holes. And once that is done, I went ahead to fix my eyelet, and this is how they look. And then I'll be lacing it with a ribbon. I wanted to use a black ribbon, but I didn't have any at that time, so I will use this. I use this color instead, and I will get a black one later. I feel like the black one will look really good with this top. So this is the end of this top. This is how it looks, and I'll be trying it on for you guys to see. And this is how the top looks on. Oh my god, I really love the style of this top and the fit, and it pairs really nice with these shorts. And this is the back side with the lacing details. So if you did like this tutorial and if you do like the top, please don't forget to like, comment and share, and see you in my next video. Bye.